What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good evening. Good evening. How you doing? Kevin? Jason? I did, I installed a door, the whole, like, threshold assembly and everything, like the frame and all that today, and, um, just hung out with the baby all day. That's all I did. My daughter never had a door put on her when we moved into this house. There was no, it was a bifold door. Good evening from Minnesota. How was your weekend? Hey, what's up, Minnesota? So, appreciate you being here. Yeah, I got a little fire going out here, trying to get rid of some extra wood. I told my wife, I said, you can come out here and hang out for a little bit if you want. All I'm doing is cleaning, and I'm going to work out tonight. I didn't get to work out this morning like I wanted to. I started my live stream, and my wife got out here to the garage before I could even get going for the morning. So I said, you know what, I'll get all my chores and stuff done and all my big projects done. So anyway, I had my daughter has, in her bedroom, her closet doesn't have a closet door. And my wife's been wanting to put a closet door on it. And it's a 29 3/4 wide by 80 3/4 long. Yeah, 80 3/4 long or 79 3/4 long. It's not quite the measurements you would expect. So I had to go get a door frame that was 28 inches, because then by the time you get the entire framing and everything, it comes out to like 29.5 inches, and then you got to kind of like shim it in, get everything set. I use a brad nailer, just makes it easy. So I just get one side set, get the door moving nice and easy, get the other side set, and then I trim it off. So I went ahead and did all the 45s and the trim and stuff, set all that up. It looks real good. And then I went with some filler putty and cleaned all my trimming nail holes up, so they're all cleaned in, and now we can go around and paint them. But that's what I did today, and then I just hung out with the baby all day. Hung out with the baby, and then I cooked me and my wife dinner. We weren't really wanting any veggies or anything tonight. We just wanted steak. So we got some steaks on sale. Threw a couple steaks on the grill. Me and her just sat down, chowed down. I had a can of beets. Yeah, beets. I know some of you guys think beets are gross, but I love them. I had a can of just regular beets, no sugar and stuff added to them, and a steak. That was my dinner. And my lunch was about a cup of broccoli, a cup of cauliflower, and about 5 or 6 pieces of barbecue dry rub smoked chuck roast. And then just water all day, and a glass of coffee this morning. So I haven't got on the scale the last day, so last I checked I was about 65, 66 pounds down. I don't want to get on the scale, honestly, because I've been eating meat pretty heavy, and I know I'm not going to gain weight from meat, but also at the same time, meat sits in your body a little longer, so that scale is not going to be very friendly to you, especially with me eating like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of meat a day now. It makes me feel better when I'm working out. It definitely makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I have more energy during the day by increasing my protein and my fat content, healthy, natural fat content and protein. But I know that scale doesn't move as fast when you're heavier on the meat. Your body changes faster for sure, but the scale takes a little bit for you to process everything and get it out. So, how are you? You guys see quick flyby from Australia? Cheers. Have a good one. He was well. He was good. He was well. FTT shows up. He says, "I see you," and I'm gone. Yeah, wow. Bought some grass-fed beef, 93% lean from my local. You would be upset with me right now if you found out what type of beef I ate for dinner. Uh, Look, man, when it's hard out here for a pimp, I got problems, man. I got to figure out where I'm buying my meat from. I get that crack itch once it starts becoming difficult. So I went down here to the local store, and I don't know. I probably shouldn't even say it because I know somebody's gonna have something to say about it. But I found some ribeyes. I did. I found a pack of two giant ribeyes, two big bastards that were like 3/4 thick, and I only paid $19 for them. So that tells you the quality of the meat probably wasn't very good, right? I got to show you all something here. And if you are gonna purchase, oh yeah, BG44K. There's nothing out there. Hey, Pete. Little rosemary, little butter. Tonight I just went like Chicago steak seasoning, just not heavy on both sides because I'm trying to like even watch some of the seasonings that I use. I love salt. Don't get me wrong, and salt really doesn't cause any health problems at all. It's all the we get into that topic at some point. We can get into it tonight if you want as well. But the mainstream medical, they like to push this BS read from a textbook. This is what you need to tell people for the rest of your medical career, that salt is bad for you, and salt is not bad for you. Do you need a shit ton of it? No, you don't. But salt is not bad for you. It's natural. You actually have to have it in your life. If you don't have some form of salt, you can have some type of electrolyte deficiency that can cause like some pretty bad issues in general. And a lot of people use sodium tablets or potassium tablets just to get through like a powerlifting meet or something like that. If you watch some of these bigger powerlifters, world's strongest men, if you see they go up to a lift and they're going to pick something up and they're going to lift it and their body's shaking and they're, for one, that's nerves firing, and two, it could also be the lack of electrolytes. They're basically sodium potassium crosses off. It's not working properly, and those muscles and stuff are trying to fire. The nerves are trying to act the way they need to act, and if your sodium and potassium is off, you can screw up your entire process of what you're doing. And if you notice some of these guys, they're shaking and can look like they're almost convulsing. And there was a guy that talked about this one time. I don't know if you guys know Mark Smelly Bell. He's the creator and inventor of this right here, the slingshot. He's the creator of and inventor of the slingshot, and it was because he was having shoulder problems when he was benching, and it was a way for him to keep his elbows in a little and not damage his shoulders as bad, and for him to train through it and recover from it. So Mark Bell and Stan Efferding were at a, if you don't know who Stan Efferding is, these are old school guys that some of you young bucks don't have a clue. But they were some of the best in their time, and they probably still could be the best, some of the best today. Stan Efferding is the White Rhino, and he was a bodybuilder and a powerlifter. And they were at a meet, and he was going to open up with something that he knew he could do, like he was going to open up with like a 700-pound deadlift, 175-pound deadlift. And he said, I went to pull it, and when I went to go pull it, my body just wanted to give out on me. My body acted like it didn't even want to do anything. It didn't even want to respond properly. And I just wanted to fall over. And he popped one of those sodium tablets, like 1,000 milligrams or 500 milligrams of sodium, something like that. And within like 15, 20 minutes, was able to get some water in him, get right back over there. And not only did he go up, there was like a PR or something like that, if I remember correctly. That sodium tablet pulled him out of that deficiency that he was in by the time it started getting into his body and helping regulate everything. Hey, Mommy, it's Spanky. How you doing, brother? Mommy Would you like to sit over here and me coddle you and I give you some milk? Well, I try to get my meat at Costco for the most part. Me and my wife, we really like getting our meat at Costco now, just because it's clean. Costco or Sam's Club, we know it's clean. Um, they used to not have the best prices, but now they seem to have the best prices because all the regular grocery stores that we go to are just absolutely outrageous. Hey, you love me? I love you too. I love you so much. We could be out in the field camping, and I'd nut the butt, man. Just make sure you're warm. Just nut to the butt, hut, cuddle, make sure you're warm. I go to the one over by you, Jay. I go to the one that's out by you. Somebody said something about a F-150. No, I forgot. I missed that. I meant to address that. So ultimately, this is a car channel first. So, was just looking at F-150s, want a street truck. Some old guy passed me the other day. I'm in my F-150, and I've got some little things done to it, but I can definitely tell now that I got those long tube headers and stuff on there, that truck really does need a tune. And I need to take it to somebody and get the exhaust actually finished. Instead of the way I rigged it up, I'd like to have somebody actually do it the right way and finish the exhaust. But this old guy pulled up to me. He looked like he was in his mid-60s, a little chunky guy. He wasn't real fat or anything, just a little chunky. Had a big old long white Santa Claus beard. And he pulls up next to me, and the truck is thumping like a mother. And I rolled the window down, and I'm like, damn, what do you got in that thing? And he says, it's a 5-liter Coyote, single cab, short bed, lowered 2 inches in the rear, matches the front. And then he says, I've got some Ford Performance 20-inch rims on it with some, I don't know, 555s. And he said, it's got a cams in it, long tube headers. It's got just a basic street tune, 10R80 tune. Already had the updated CDF drum put in it. And he said, this thing is a fucking monster. He said there's barely Camaros, Mustangs, anything on the road that will even hang close to him on the street. And he said, normally it comes down to some type of boosted application, or else I'm walking everybody, for the most part. This thing was nice. Made me extremely jealous. I seen one on here the other day. It was a 4-wheel drive, single cab, 5.5-foot bed. I think that's what it was. And it was like 27.5, and it was a 15 model. That's the first year, the ones that I liked with the 6R80. I don't want the 10-speed. I like the 6R80. It was a 15 model that was already leveled. It was already lowered in the back, but they didn't touch the engine. They didn't touch the transmission, nothing. All it had was a nice set of rims and tires on it. It was all still stock. And it had like 27, 28, 29,000 miles somewhere. No, it wasn't. It was like 30. It was 30,000 miles. That's what it was. And they only wanted 27.5 for that thing. And I was like, man, all this money that I put into these other cars and stuff, I could have saved it and went and picked that up, and I would have had my little street machine. 10R80 is a great trans once you do all the updates. Well, if you don't do the updates, you're screwed. Yeah, it is ridiculous. You know, it's the thing that I see about meat pricing right now is I went to Jewel Osco and then I went to Mariano's. They had chuck roast for what was it? Chuck roast was like $8.99 a pound. Who the hell pays $8.99 a pound for chuck roast? It's supposed to be one of the lowest, not quality, because that's not the quality's not the case. That's not what I'm worried about. It's just in general, chuck roast has never been $9 a pound, and then it was on sale at $6.99 a pound. It used to be normal price $3.99 a pound, on sale for like $2.99 a pound, and this was just a year ago, 2 years ago. What the hell is going on? It's ridiculous. I'm gonna move the fire a little bit more away from the door. We go to the South Loop location. I didn't know we could go to the business center. Oh, I didn't know. What is this, the laughing and the clown thing about? What is that about? Is that towards me, or is that towards something that somebody said? Can I build engines? Yeah, I built the one that's in this Grand Marquis right here. I've built many engines. I've done. How many have you seen in my profile or whatever, in my diary here of videos? Of course I can. Yeah, I want something that'll do 1,000 easy, overbuilt, capable of 1,500. Oh, then you're talking about a Coyote. Internals, especially the new gen Coyotes. I mean, these guys are making 1,300 horsepower on factory internals. Kirkland motor oil, good oil, and good prices. SuperTech is too expensive now. I mean, they're all Kirkland, SuperTech, Costco stuff, the Sam's Club stuff, all that stuff they're all about the same quality. They're all from those places like Warren Distributing and stuff like that. So, new 26 Mustang Dart, 155,000. Yeah, and you know the Ultra Platinum, if you get it online, it's even cheaper. A lot of the Walmarts don't carry it in store for Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. You got to get it online. There's Rural King oil in my Mazda. No synthetic for me. Huh. I haven't really tested Rural King oil. I'm sure they're all from the same type of places. Mercury Marauder. Yeah, I see the Marauders pop up all the time. There's one that was just on Marketplace, had like 180,000 miles on it, but dude said it runs great even at 180,000 miles. He wants like $6,000 for the car. It was either in, was it like '03 or '04 or something like that. Yeah, and even the paint, there was like one little rust spot by the back wheel, and he was like, "Just somebody gives me $6,000, they could leave with the car. It's just got a lot of miles, so you can't get any money out of it." Chili Fall Nights, oh yeah. Brother, I saw a steak at Walmart for $54.30. Shit, pass. At Longhorn it is, but if you go to some of these places with Gibson, you know Gibson's steaks. They, I'm sure you guys know who Gibson's is. Gibson's is outrageous, man. They have gotten out of control with their prices, and then they buy other small steak joints, and we have one here locally that Gibson bought under new management, and a 20-ounce ribeye steak went from $54, which me and my wife would go every once in a while and just splurge on, like $130, $140 dinner. We ordered just steaks with just a basic side like broccoli. No drinks, no nothing. And they wanted $175 just for the meals. And then to put a drink for each one of us on top of it, plus tax and the tip, we're $240, $250 before we leave the joint. And we asked them, what's going on? Why are the prices through the roof now? We were just here 6 months ago, and both of us come here and get the steak dinner, and it's the best steak I've ever had in my life. Now it's like almost double the price to leave here with just a drink, a meal, no extra sides, and the tip. I'm spending close to $300. And they said, well, yeah, it's under new management now. The old owners don't own the business anymore. Gibson's bought the company out, and now Gibson manages the company. It's ridiculous. So now, because a bigger name came in and bought the company, now the price is double, but it's the same quality, if not downhill. What's up, Jody? What's the best Costco location you've gone to? Orland Park was insanely packed when I went. We do go to the Orland Park one a lot, but I sometimes I go out to the one that's by it's out there off of what is that? What is it, Jay? That the one that I met you at the one time when you bought those Balenciaga glasses, Balenciaga glasses. That was off of State Street in Cicero, but the one in Orland Park we go to as well. How are the Shelby trucks with 775 horsepower? They are freaking snot rockets. I mean, I think they could tune them a little better, but they were having some issues with, a lot of them were Edelbrock, Shelby, a lot of them were having issues with running the truck too lean, trying to get extra power out of it, and no, I take that back. That's not true. They were running fine, but it was the consumer, when they would buy the truck, they'd want to get more power out of it, and they'd try to retune the tune that's already in there, and they take some timing out of it or add some time, and it was actually causing it to the exhaust to get much hotter than what it was with the factory performance tune, and it was melting the catalytic converters. Any idea how to reset fuel alcohol percentages with the scanner? Does disconnecting the battery work? My Impala thinks it's running E85 even though the car has never tasted a drop. I mean, pulling the battery and then taking the terminals and putting the terminals together and letting them discharge the capacitor should work. But I would think just simply going and putting straight fuel, like regular fuel in it, should also cause it to reset. Like run it down as low as possible and then drive it for 15, 20 miles and let it recalculate it. That should work as well. So I don't know. The one by Ford City, yeah. Try to stoke the fire a little bit. Lowest I can get is 65%, but it's all over the place. I only burn E10. Huh. I used to have a business one, Jay. I used to have that. Yeah, the E85 makes a big difference because you can add way more fuel, but it doesn't actually. The only reason it makes more power is because you can add more fuel and it keeps the cylinder cooler, but it doesn't actually per actual thermal unit or whatever you want to call it, per BTU, it doesn't actually make more power. Just raw gasoline makes more power than the 85 does per unit. It's just too volatile to run a shit ton of boost with 93 octane or higher and not have the provisions to protect the engine. So some people, they like E85 and they'll do E85 with methanol injection, and they'll really get that air as cool as possible, and they'll just cram as much fuel and air in the engine as they possibly can to get as much power out of the engine as they possibly can. I've been using a non-ethanol gasoline. It's great, but it has no detergents in it. Back to Exxon Premium. I need to start gaming again, man. I quit gaming right when the baby was born, and I've just been doing nothing but focusing on getting healthy and working out and trying to be there for the baby as much as possible. But now, man, she's fucking mean now. She was laying in front of me, or she was sitting in front of me watching Blue's Clues earlier, and then she started freaking banging her head into my head. She started going, boom, boom, and then she was laughing at herself as she was doing it. And she would try to see how hard she could get. She was going harder and harder and harder, and then once she got hard, she hit my head so hard to the point where it hurt. She just leaned her head forward and was like, "I'm not gonna cry because I don't want him to know that that's my stopping point right there. That hurt." uh, she's a tough ass. She doesn't want to let you know that she tries to be really, really tough. And now she's figuring all kinds of things out. She'll grab my beard and she'll pull it really hard, and then she'll let go, and then she'll try to crawl away and get away from me. And I'm like, you ass. She's definitely developing her own little personality, and I love it, man. I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I've been just so busy doing baby stuff, family stuff, trying to get this engine done in this car. Now the engine's done, and then I got hurt. Now I've been wanting to put the transmission that's sitting over here on the floor in there, and got the performance torque converter and stuff out. I'm ready to slap it all together, but I can't do that because now my knee's healing from this issue at work, and it's now they're talking about not letting me go back to work tomorrow because they said that the doctor was like, you're going to have a certain amount of restriction, especially with you busting your kneecap off to the side and everything's trying to heal and we're trying to make all that stronger. When you go back to work, we don't want you really kneeling and squatting, bending down to pick shit up that's kind of heavy or whatever. And I said, well, that's what my job is. That's what I do every day. And he said, well, that's the restrictions. No kneeling, no squatting, no stairs. Just try to take it easy as possible. I don't care if you work around the house and do tasks because you do need to stay busy working. And if you're going to go back to work, try to do things that are upright. Continue to give that knee time to heal. And keep doing your physical therapy and stuff. And, you know, we'll see here in a couple weeks how you feel. Well, once he put that on the restrictions, the HR lady at work called me and said, you can't come back to work Monday. I got to sit down with all the managers and stuff and try to check out and see, do we want a mechanic coming back that has all these restrictions, and then he could possibly get hurt again, and then he's right back out again, and we're paying a liability at that point. So she said, I got to get everything cleared through the vice president of the company. She said, are you ready to come back? And I was like, yeah, just whatever you got to do, just let me know. But I'd like to come back to work Monday. I'd like to come back to work. I don't want to keep sitting at the house. And she said, I hear you. I understand. You guys go stir crazy. But she said, you might have to take some time off until the physical therapy's done and over with before they'll let you come back. I gotta show you guys this diesel heater. I got a video on it. I didn't put it out yet. Do you have a tool or trick to pull the injectors out of the lower manifold of an early edge Duratec 3.5? They make injector puller tools that sometimes you just got to kind of make it work, but you can go on Amazon and find the little kits with the slide hammer. That's what I did. I found a little kit on Amazon. This was a long time ago, and I kind of modified the little grabber that grabs the top of the fuel injector, the lip where the O-ring's at, and then I just use a little puller, and I yank it right out of the head. Southwest and the family draining me. Yeah, man. I told my wife I need to. The last week for me has been hard, man. And it's not my wife and my daughter. It's my fault, to be honest with you. I'm in the house. I get to see all the stuff that they do every single day. I'm seeing them from sun up to sundown, and I love them to death. But I need a break from them during the day because I get to the point where I see everything, and then it starts building up and snowballing, and then it starts getting aggravating to me, and then I'm like, pick your crap up when you're done. Pick your stuff up when you're done. Pick your stuff up when you're done. Why did you leave that over there? Why is the cupboard open? Why is this left out? Why did you go pick that up? And then I'm like, I start getting to the point where I start getting like cranky like my mother. My mother likes stuff to all be put away a certain way, and it's got to be back here. This has got to be closed. This has got to be put away. This has got to be clean. But with a baby, it's kind of hard to have all that happen. So I'm trying to be patient, and like I said, it's not a them problem, it's a me problem. Before I actually got involved with my wife, I used the same plate, the same bowl, the same cup, the same spoon, the same knife, the same butter knife every day. I would wash it, put it next to the sink on a drying rack, and then that night when I wanted to eat, or that afternoon if I had time to get home early or something, or throughout the weekend, I'd use the same dishes, clean them, put them back on the drying rack. So I never had to go into my cupboard and get new dishes and stuff like that. I never had a dishwasher that was full. I never had any of that. I never had clothes laying out. I was spoiled because it was just me. And now I've got a family, and it's like, it's a me problem. It's not a them problem. It's me. Yeah, I'm gonna do the pellet grill up tomorrow. I got a big, massive bag of, it's like, I don't know if it's like a 25, 30-pound bag of chicken wings from Costco. Then I'm going to make some lemon pepper chicken wings. I'm going to try to make them crispy, and then make some barbecue chicken wings. Yeah, should be good. Just like her daddy. Ha! Yeah, yeah. Oh man, she was being mean tonight. She's just, the teeth are through now, and she's got more teeth coming in, and she's so curious, and she's so like sure of herself and aggressive that as she's crawling through the house, she's like, oh, I'm gonna crawl over here, and then I'm gonna grab this, and I'm gonna yank myself up, and I'm gonna yank myself up, and I'm gonna grab whatever's up there. Well, she goes through this thought process, and she follows through with it, and then she finds out whenever she gets up and pulls herself up and she's standing there, you can't just let go when you're still trying to figure out how to stabilize yourself and grab whatever object it is that's up above your head. She thinks she can just reach up there and grab it and it'll be fine. Then she falls over and boop, bops her head. So it's like, but we've got like padded, like a big memory foam padded carpet and stuff down now. And when she bops her head, she just like looks up in the air and laughs at herself like it's funny. Just getting down to set a car up on a lift would be torture. Yeah, I mean, it's tight. A lot of the pain is going away, but it's the tightness that's there that's uncomfortable, and the popping, just random popping and clicking. But for the most part, I'm ready to go back. Yeah, wife's car is a mess and it irritates you. My wife's actually been keeping up with hers pretty good, so it's taken her a few years, but she's been doing pretty good. Oh, you gave her the big dog, the tank, the Sequoia. Now, Lizer, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I do leave stuff out sometimes. But I have a way of reminding myself to kind of go back and pick up after myself. So, met a woman 8 years ago. Go ahead and clean her car out in 5 years. Oh, God. God. Women have statistically have the nastiest vehicles that I've ever seen. I was actually talking to a lady at Home Depot about that. She's an old lady there that was trying to help me find where the door threshold transition strips were. And she asked me, she was like, something about, oh, you got your project set up for you for the weekend. And I was like, I've been working on stuff for 3 weeks now that I've been home, hurt from work. And she said, she's like, oh yeah, I really would have. So I told her what happened. She's like, oh, bless your heart and stuff. And I said, yeah, I'm a mechanic though, so it comes with the job. You get hurt. And she's like, yeah, I bet, And then working in all them gross cars, and I say, gross cars? Do you know who drive the gross cars? And she laughed a little, and she said, no. Who's that? I said, women. And she said, no. And I said, yeah. 90% of the vehicles we get every single time. Like if I told her out of 10 vehicles that come through, 9 out of the 10, if they're women's, they're all trashed. You might get 1 out of those 10 that are actually clean. And she said, I keep mine spotless. I don't like people's garbage in my car or nothing. I said, my mother's the same way. My mother doesn't like trash in her car. If you get in her car with something, you're leaving with it. You're not leaving it in her car. That's how she is. She's very, very, very picky. But the next 9 women after her looks like a freaking blizzard inside the car of garbage. Replace EGR, new vacuum lines, OBS 5.8, condition went from rich to lean. Any thoughts? From rich to lean, you still got some type of vacuum leak somewhere. Or you got a plugged injector or something, or I'd have to have the vehicle. It's too hard to say. How's your fuel pressure? How does it look whenever you key on, or do you I don't know, man. I'd actually have to look at it to try to figure it out. Bad O2 sensors, something. I'd be checking everything. The landlady's stepdaughter took over the Civic. It's already a rolling dumpster, man. It's disgusting. She drives like crazy. She's always launching over speed. A car to a man is like hair to a woman. Yeah, but if it's a woman that doesn't have to go out of her house every day, she ain't caring about her hair too much. I gotta tell you that. You know what? To be honest with you, kneecaps pop to the side. Never had surgery. You'll learn to deal with it. Well, I am. Your baby is so beautiful. How old is she? She's 8 months old. She's about to be 9. Something I learned about women, though, in general, is what we were taught growing up about they're princesses and they're so clean and beautiful and smell good and all the until you start living with them, and their hair's all over the place, and then their feet look like they've been running around out in the mud all the time, and especially when they get complacent with you and you're like, hey woman, go in there and cut the forest off those trees. Go get a bush hog and mow those legs down or something like that. Come on now. So it's not what everybody thinks it is. My daughter's name is Annabelle. Hola, me amo, it's Ryan. My twin sister just offered me her car. It's so gross. I'd rather risk it. FB Marketplace beater. Yeah. Oh, shower drain backing up. So then I got stories about that. So we got all women in the house other than me. So I got to the point now where I don't even stand up to piss. I sit down so I don't piss on the toilet seat in the middle of the night. I wake up and I'm like, hand on the wall, and I'm like, oh man, I made a mess. I gotta clean it up, and you clean it up, and it's like, you know what they say is that when they poke at men not being men, I bet you sit down when you piss. Yeah, I do. Try having 3 women in the house that you have to follow up, or that come behind you whenever you go to the bathroom. You'll sit down and piss too, because it gets annoying after you piss on the toilet seat at 1 o'clock in the morning a few times. So now I've learned, unless I'm at work or somewhere else, I sit down to piss. I don't care. Make fun of me all you want. But I got to be respectful to 3 other women in the house. And every once in a while I will forget, and I'll leave the toilet seat up, but I try not to even leave the toilet seat up. This thing is a bad mother lover. This thing it's very fast. They're more expensive for sure. But you talking about a leaf blower? This little guy right here, the battery's all in the handle. It's got 10 minutes of constant runtime, and it's a turbo fan. It's not like the ones they advertise on TikTok and all that other stuff. The green ones where they're like, oh, you could dry your car with it. This sucker right here is the real deal. I'll show you real quick. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see. I'll show you how powerful it is. You see the fire over there? You know, leaves over here. Do this side over here. This sucker right here moves some air. They're not cheap though. You can find them. You can find those for about $150 to $250, depending on where you get them from. They blow a lot of air to be so compact. a lot of detailers use them. Um, and when they're after they like chamois the car, and they get all the heavy water off, and they still got spots and stuff like that. A lot of the detailers will grab one of them and go out over the car real quick with that high volume air, and they'll knock all those little water droplets and spots and stuff off, and it'll do like a final set for them, and then they'll just have to come through and wipe it down and do their quick wax or whatever. I'll show you guys this. I got another heater here. Oh yeah, the frame. You mean the frame endurance? Yeah. That's why people are so duped by the fact that AMSOIL filters aren't made by AMSOIL. When you tell them that, they freak out. And then you find out Fram's newest filter is basically an AMSOIL filter, and people, they can't believe it because Fram's got a name on something that AMSOIL also has their name on, so it's ridiculous. Do I have my own shop? No, I don't. Where am I working now? I'm working at Volkswagen. I am their only journeyman used car tech, recon tech. I do all the cars, all the extended warranty work, all the major jobs. The vehicle I just got hurt on was a $6,000 engine job, and that's exactly what I diagnosed it as. I took all the ignition components from cylinder 7 one by one and moved them to cylinder 5, and the misfire stayed. And I went and updated the assistant service manager, and I said, hey, look, this is where we're at right now. It's not the ignition components at all. The next thing I got to do is I got to check compression, and I have to put a bore scope in there and see if the injector's leaking down, because when I pulled number 7's plug out, it was completely saturated in fuel, and it almost smelled like fuel and oil. So there might be a bigger problem here. We might have washed the cylinder walls out, so it's getting fuel from the top, but it's also bringing oil past the rings. And we may end up needing an engine for this thing. Well, I went back to get back to work, and that's when I got hurt, and I couldn't finish the job. So they had to take the Tahoe and send it down to Chevy. Chevy also diagnosed it as a bad injector, but they said they wanted to try to put an injector in it first before ruling out the cylinder. And I'm like, why? You can just do a compression test and rule that out. You wasted money on an injector. If they would have just did the compression test, they would have seen the compression was down on that cylinder. They wouldn't have had to have wasted the money on the injector, and they could have just put the engine in it to begin with, instead of going through all this extra shit that was not necessary. So they were like, yeah, $6,000 engine job, used engine. I wish it would have been you. If you were here, you're the one that could have done the job, and we could have made the money on it. But since you're not here and we don't have anybody doing that work, it's kind of like one of those things where you start thinking to yourself, oh, you see the value in me? Not that easily replaceable. I mean, I am, but not that easy. I have a lot of respect for you, bro. I loved when you went down to the city council meeting. That was fire anyway. God bless you, man. I'm not done with them. I'm definitely not done with them. I've been hammering Pritzker and Johnson every time I get a chance, because those clowns are the epitome of what leaders should be. And anybody that supports them, that believes in them, that thinks that they're doing the right thing, they are pathetic to me. They are no excuse to be part of civilized society. So, oh 0173 crew cab, long bed, 30 inject KC 300 turbo stage 2 high pressure oil pump, 4-inch exhaust coil 5. Damn, boy. Let me get some of that 7.3 hunka burning love. Do I ever try to flush a heater core with something like CLR? I mean, I've seen people do it. I've actually used it for stuff like that as well. It does work. But a lot of people, when they flush a heater core, you got to be careful because too much pressure in the heater core can really cause some issues. What I like to do is I like to back flush heater cores without using chemicals first. I'll hook up my fitting on the outlet side, and I'll try to backfill and push whatever came through back or whatever building up back, and a lot of times I can get it out that way. Sometimes I got to use chemicals, and sometimes even chemicals, they just doesn't work. Look at this heater here. I got a new diesel heater that I just did a review on yesterday afternoon. I haven't put out the video yet. If you guys are into like garage heaters and diesel heaters and stuff like that, like I have a VEVOR on the wall over there. I've got an H-Calorie right here with that custom box I made that I can just slide up outside the door, and I can just close my door, and my outlet actually matches right up with my outlet matches up with the pipe, the vent coming into the garage. So I literally, it's just in a box. Put it outside, put a cover over it, plug it in, turn it on, close the door, line up the little tube. Don't have to put any clamps or anything on it. And I crank that son of a gun up, and it's super quiet. That H-Calorie heater is super quiet. But VEVOR said, we got something even better for you that you haven't seen yet. And I was like, what's that? And they sent me a couple different options for garage heaters, updated ones. And I saw this one, and I was like, oh my God, I got to have this thing. I got to have this thing. Look at this. It's a self-contained heater with a handle right here. It's got wheels. It's got an exhaust pipe. And really, I tried this thing a bunch of different ways. I took that exhaust pipe with that heat wrap, and I set it down on the floor right here, and I closed the garage door on that protective shielding. And I didn't even need to set it up on a wall or anything. It's all self-contained. It has a carbon monoxide, built-in carbon monoxide detector. Where is it at? Oh, it's right here. And if you want to move that carbon monoxide detector off of this thing, they give you like a big, giant, long lead. You can plug this in. You can have it outside your shop if you want. You can plumb this out, this heating duct, into like a source to like an inlet to go in the shop, and you can take that carbon monoxide detector and relocate it in the shop, so it can detect whether or not it's getting carbon monoxide in the shop, and it will shut this unit down. So you can either run the unit standalone like this, with just a 12 volt. Or they give you a 12 volt, they give you a power adapter, and you can hook this up to the battery. You can go both ways. This little unit right here is super quiet compared to the old school VEVOR one. That would go thump, 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 thump as it's pumping the diesel into the heating element. This right here, after you get it set up and it's primed and it's warmed up, you don't hear no noise coming from it. You don't even need to put a muffler on this thing. It's so quiet. And how the handle works, you pop it forward, expand it up, pull it wherever you want. I got all the gadgets and the toys now. Well, I'm pretty sure maybe we can take one of these heaters and we can play around with some used motor oil and some diesel and see if we can get them to burn right. This unit from VEVOR, it runs forever. And the one from H-Calorie, the one that I put in the wooden box, that one actually is a liter bigger than this one. That one also runs forever. But this right here to me is the easiest heater by far that you can use because you don't even have to do anything. The pipe on it doesn't even require you to put a band clamp around it, even though they send you all the additional hardware and stuff with it. All you do is take that, there's a quick coupler that couples onto the unit, and then you slide the pipe onto the coupler, and it's got fingers that grab the pipe. That's done. And then my exhaust now comes out the side. You see how they plumbed the exhaust out the side now instead of the bottom? And it's got a metal frame on it. So now you don't have to worry about burning yourself or burning some kind of platform or whatever. It's just plumbed right out the side. It can literally go anywhere now. Actually, you know what? I should set this down and run it for a little bit. I'm gonna blow out around this workout area real quick. $3 SuperTech filters now that everything else is $10. Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with using SuperTech filters. It gets super cold where you live. I can see that you're working for real. Yeah, I mean it does get cold here, but a lot of times I don't even wear a jacket and stuff, and I still, even in the wintertime, go out in shorts. We were out at a trunk or treat thing at the school the other day, and all the dads had sweaters and stuff on and jackets, the moms, the kids, and I'm walking around in a t-shirt like this, and people are looking at me like I'm nuts. I don't get cold like everybody else does. The room was like 64, 65 degrees last night because it's so cold outside. We don't even need to put the AC on. And my wife's like, "Are you cold?" And no, I feel great. Oh, I'm freezing. Okay, put a cover on. I got a cover on. We'll put another cover on. I got half my body out from underneath the cover. I'm like, oh, it feels good. My daughter's the same way. She does not like to be hot. She gets hot, she gets cranky. She's kind of cold. She's really happy and giddy and you don't have to cut a hole in the brick. There's other ways of doing it. Like this one here. This one. You don't even need to cut a hole. You could just close the garage door down to the pipe. Leave the protective sleeve on it and it runs fine. There's no fumes. The fumes don't get into the shop because you've got the exhaust plumbed out, so you don't even get fumes in there. Is the Wix XP still a good filter? Yeah, it's still a good filter, but everybody's got this controversy going now because all these filter companies are starting to change and who makes this and who makes that. So now, like, you try to get into like an argument with somebody talking about who makes this oil filter and the quality of that oil filter. It's rubbish now. It's like no point in even getting into those conversations with people because there's so many companies that own all these other companies, and people are like, oh yeah, Purolator is better than Wix. Wix is better than Purolator. This is SuperTech is better than this. But And then you come to find out they're owned by the same damn corporations, manufactured by the same damn facilities. So it's yes, some are better than others, some are worse. Just like Fram with their orange can filters, and everybody from the beginning of time talks about how trashy they are. You're right. It's an economy filter. Why would you take an economy filter and put it on a performance car or something you really, really, really adore and want for the rest of your life? That just shows me you don't give a shit about it. And if you did, you wouldn't be putting an economy filter on a car like that. And you're driving it more than 4,000 or 5,000 miles on an oil change, and you got a $5 filter you're putting on there. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And then you complain about the filter failing. No, you failed. You failed. The person doing that failed. Green laser in the sky out by Hennepin, bright, straight up. I don't know what for. They may have been talking about ICE protests with lasers at night. Oh, these fucking people, these ICE protests. You know, these people protesting this ICE stuff is ridiculous, because now they're actually, if you see J.D. Vance, he just did a speech on this whole thing, and he was like, just so you know, you stupid freaking people out there, regardless if you like them or not, or you agree with what they're doing, if you inhibit what they're doing in any way at all, it doesn't matter if you stand in their way, it doesn't matter if you're hazing them and shouting obscenities at them, if they have to stop focusing on what they're focusing on to worry about what you're doing, and if you're running at them and acting like you're going to hit them but you're not, well, that's your fault, because you're literally obstructing their whole operation and what they're trying to do, and they have every right in the world to take you down, take you to jail, do whatever possible to get you to leave them alone, because you're literally obstructing a federal officer in their official capacity doing their job. Like, how stupid can you be to even attempt to try to do that, knowing that you're probably going to get picked up, especially if you're physically trying to intimidate them, shout obscenities at them, and get out in the middle of the road and block them? You're asking for problems. You're the idiot. So I don't understand these people. That lady, they were just trying to target ICE, and they were showing that they were in a neighborhood picking people up, and there's a lady that runs out in the middle of the street. She's trying to stand in front of the van. Then as the officers finishing up their operation and they're getting back in the van, they're loading back in it, here she comes running up to the van like she's going to do something to him. As he's trying to close the side door, he doesn't know what she's running at him to do. She looked like a damn sow running at him. And he's standing there in all his gear and stuff like that. And he's looking out the side as she's getting closer and closer and closer. And he steps away from the vehicle and he walks at her like 7 or 8 feet and just throws her backwards. Like, get the fuck away from me. Like, what are you doing? I'm working. And then it's, oh, the federal officers are pieces of this. And no, you're a dummy. You put yourself in that position. You got what you had. You fucked around and you found out. That's exactly what it is. Darren Bailey will have a chance against Pritzker. I sure would rather have Darren than Pritzker, I can tell you that. But I've also heard some shady stuff about these other Democrats and Republicans in Illinois that are running as well. But anything but Pritzker, I'd be okay with. I don't care if it's a Democrat, I don't give a shit. Just not Pritzker. And if anything, I would trade Johnson back for Lori Lightfoot. Beetlejuice Lightfoot actually had more sense than Johnson did. She was actually a smarter lady, and actually, surprisingly, that I'm even willing to admit this, made better calls than Mayor Johnson does. Johnson is a complete idiot. Sorry I'm late. Just wanted to make sure I got that like hit. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, Miss Archer. You're 4.6, a 2-valve or 4-valve? 2-valve. 2-valve sounds... I might be playing with fire here, but personally, I like the way a 2-valve sounds over a 4-valve. I've seen some 2-valves with some really nice, very, very nice high-end exhaust systems on it that they just sound absolutely amazing. The next one I build though, I think the next one I build though is going to be a Coyote swap. I got to do the Coyote swap. My buddy up in Canada, he just did a Coyote swap on his '05 town car. This car is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And I'm not talking a used built engine. I'm talking brand new Ford Performance crate engine with a 10R80, all brand new. Dude spent like 20 grand on an engine and transmission, and they got the power by the hour wiring harness and stuff like that. Took it to a local speed shop, had them pull all the factory stuff out of there, delete what needed to be deleted, got the factory AC and all that stuff hooked up on it. He's got AC. It all operates from the factory controls on the town car radio face. The rear end's all been done. It's 31 spline axles with a Ford Racing, like a billet, chromed out cooling rear cover. 373 gear set. No, 355 gear set is what he went with. And this thing's making like 490 horsepower to the wheels with the tune and everything that they have in it. It is just an absolute... An 05 town car with a full-blown Coyote swap across the board, all brand new. He said he come out of work one day and he seen at a business right across the street there was this creamy tan colored town car. It was like an Ultimate Edition or something. And he says, I'm looking at this thing and I just couldn't get over how clean this car looked from so far away. And I got up closer and it got even more beautiful closer. And then he said, once I seen the guy only wanted like 5 or 6 grand for the car, I gave him the money for the car. I didn't even haggle with him. I gave him what he wanted for it. Then I took it and I started the plan right away. Coyote swap, 10R80, gear set, LSD, the whole shebang. Kept the factory town car rims and actually had them polished up a little bit because they were starting to, like, I don't know, fade in some areas. But he had them all professionally polished up. The car is just immaculate. And then you hear this thing. It is disgusting. She's growing up way too fast. Way too fast. This girl is... You know, I look at her pictures from the day I first put her in my arms. The day I first saw this amazing... I can't even explain. I'm going to get emotional. Don't. I think about the day that I first held her and how beautiful she was then and how beautiful she is now. It's just, she's growing up way too fast, and I love every moment that I have, like holding her and being with her. I just can't explain it. Sometimes I don't even want to put her down. I don't. I could be super tired and wore out, hurt, and just want to crawl up in a ball and in a dark room and just go to sleep because I've had such a rough week, and I just want to hold her. That's it. I mean, I hope one day she understands that she's my whole world. You know, she's everything. So yeah, I don't know. I can't. I'm trying not to. She's getting big though. I'm trying not to hold her all the time because I don't want her to give mom a problem whenever I'm not home and dad's not here to hold her. So I'm trying to be respectful of mom in those areas and not make it harder on her because, you know, she's smarter when it comes to this stuff than me. And she said you can't pick her up and hold her every single time something's wrong, because if you do that, she's going to expect that every single time something's wrong, and she's never going to really learn. So, and she said she's basically teaching me what the cues are whenever there's a problem that she needs to be picked up for. And then if she's just a little whiny and stuff and she's mad she can't pull her toy out from this, or maybe she just barely tapped her head on it, there's nothing wrong with her, you let her get through it. That's how they figure out how to get through things. So She used to like me, now she wants dad. Yeah, well, because you got to come over more. Once she spent a lot of time with you, she wanted to be in your lap. Well, then you got busy with church and everything else, and now she needs to get reacquainted with you. People get their feelings hurt when a 25-year-old one-ton diesel truck blows their Mustang Challenger away. Well, you should see Ryan. Ryan's, I don't know if you can see that picture right there or not, but he's got a really clean 6.0 Super Duty. It's got a bunch of work done to it. Probably one of the cleanest ones I've ever seen. It sounds like a freaking jet going down the road. The 6.0s have got to be my favorite, like, sounding and performing Super Duty of all time. They made such good power once they were all taken care of and all the quirks and stuff were worked out, and the way they sound is like completely different than any other diesel truck. Oh yeah, just the highway's right down here. I need to do some kind of, back is a little sore right now, so probably shouldn't. Maybe I could push a little back. I've been really liking doing my back lately. Trying to build a, well, like I can look in the mirror now. My back is getting really wide because I've been just pounding back, lat pull down, um, pullovers, uh, rows and stuff. Just trying to do as much as I possibly can because as I'm losing the weight, I notice that the skin is getting saggy in some areas, and I'm gonna probably definitely have some loose skin as I continue to lose the weight like this. But I'm trying to get as big as possible before it gets to that point, so there's minimal skin looseness. Um, so I've just been pounding the weights, testosterone through the roof, and trying to get as big as I possibly can. So I even increased the calories. I went from about 1,800 calories to, what are those things called? The dragon mosquito things? They got the long legs, the big wings, and they're kind of red, and I think they hunt down mosquitoes and they kill them. Anyway, one just flew in the garage. I haven't seen one in a long time. Miss me with that diesel stuff. That that diesel stuff will poop all over you, Jay. It'll poop all over you, Jay, and you'll like it. Before the peanut gallery starts telling me, oh, you shouldn't do military press behind the head. You shouldn't do that. It's bad for you. I do things that are bad for me. I like doing things that are bad for me. I do them both ways. I do them in the front and in the back. It helps me out both ways. Well, and God bless you. Have a good night. See you in the morning or see you tomorrow if you got time. If you got time. I haven't seen no stink bugs. Mega Rex trucks, no. Think about Jesus all the time. I've been thinking about Jesus more and more, that's for sure. Before my dad passed away, he was trying to restore an old 67 Ford F-150. My son has it now. I can't wait till he finishes it. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Where you at, Ryan? Are you at home right now? Do you like big stuff like that? Those big giant 46-inch tire trucks? I don't know. I have a hard time liking stuff like that, to be honest with you. It's cool and everything to look at, but I don't want to own that. It's too much upkeep. Way too much upkeep, and then you don't want to use it for what it's supposed to be used for. And all the extra parts that have to go into it to make it even work. The different pinion angles and drive shaft angles and transmission yoke angles, and it's just, if all that stuff isn't correct, all you're going to do is just bind up and destroy things all the time. It just becomes a money pit. But I guess to each their own. Whoever, some people like what they like. What's the difference between the Coyote and the F-150 and the Mustang? Same engine, different camshafts, different front cover, different exhaust, different tune. Basically everything else is the same. So That's the gist of it. Man, it's 67 to 77 high boys. I love the way those trucks look. But can't you get a high boy in a 390 and a 460 though? Don't they have both engines? Because I could have swore I went and looked at one, and it was a high boy, and I thought it would have a 460. And when I got there, he said no, they come with 390s too, because this one had a 390 in it. That felt kind of good. I don't really want to kill my shoulders tonight. They're actually starting to feel better. Total cost difference between owning a diesel with 1,000 horsepower versus a Coyote with 1,000 horsepower. Well, you can go out and buy a 2015 F-150 with a 5-liter Coyote 6-speed transmission, and you could pay $27,500 for it cash. Leave the internals the way it is. Don't touch anything. Throw a supercharger on it. Well, you did say, actually, no, I take that back. You did say, let's not use a 15. Let's use a 23. Let's say you can find a 23 short bed single cab 10-speed transmission with a Coyote. It's got 12.5 to 1 compression, 13 to 1 compression, whatever it is factory. With a tune, a supercharger, pro charger, twin turbo setup, you're probably out the door around 70, 80 grand. But you're easy 1,000 horsepower, 1,200 horsepower, right? You're going to buy the truck for like 55, and then you're going to have another 20 grand in performance parts and stuff, tuning, suspension work, yada, yada, yada. And that truck is going to take it all day at 1,000. But now you're going to go out and you're going to buy a diesel truck, and right off the hit, you're at $80,000. So right off the hit, 80,000, and you're only going to make 600 horse, 650 horse, and then with a decent tune, you're going to make 750, 800, and then you're still going to have to go out and buy supporting mods and injectors and everything else, and now next thing you know, you're $95,000 to $100,000 plus. So there's actually quite a big difference. Hey Chris, see you later, man. Oh, maybe that's what it was, a 360 and a 390. I thought it was a 390 and 460. I knew it was one way or the other. Hey, what's up, Tens? Oh, Jalen, what's up, man? Okay. At first, I was like, wait a second, why do I know you? Yeah. Power is money, money is power, 1,000%. If you ain't got the dough, you ain't making power. If you want serious power. Now, there is ways of making cheap power that's reliable as well. I forget the dude's name. There was a dude that came over from maybe one of you can help me find this book. But there was a guy that came over here from, it was either France or Germany or something like that, and he said, "Man, you guys have an awesome engine. The small block 350 is an awesome engine. But do you understand the potential of it? I don't even think you understand the potential of your own engine." And he said, "I can come up with all these different variations of how to make power with that engine, from the cheapest all the way to the most expensive." And there's a book. It's a book that actually teaches you everything about the small block 350, like the old carbureted small block 350. And it teaches you how to go from just a basic 250 horse engine to a 7, 8, 900 horse engine, and what you need to do to make it reliable. And this guy wrote this book. He wrote it as a blueprint for people in the future. They wanted to build budget-friendly vehicles, and he actually would build these vehicles to prove that he's correct. And this guy, he was a genius, I guess. And I forget the guy's name. There's a book on it though. Do I have a pilot's license? No, no, no. But I have friends that do, and they actually have a couple planes too. No, I don't get into those types of motorsports. I don't mind watching them from time to time. I'm just not into that. Especially as I get older, I'm starting to like, I don't know what I'm into anymore. For all I know, I could be into Barbie dolls and Tiny Tykes, uh, plastic push carts. Maybe some TY babies, some Clovers and Blue Moons. Oh yeah, Peppa Pig. That's big for a lot of kids, you know. Uh, I put a cartoon on the other day that I didn't think she would like, but she started giggling. It was called Umi Tomi or something, Uma Toma or Umi Tumi. It's like, what? You like this? It's like a little bucket with a face. It was like a cartoon bucket that would go around with a shovel and a pail and something else, and there's a whole cartoon on it. It's like she was eating it up, making all kind of noises. Hoot! Oh, I'm old, man. You recommend any company for lug nuts for my 13 F-150 are swollen? I think they're called Knight. Are they called Knight or Gorilla? Good day, good day, good day. I'm drying from bean dust from the field. Breathing that in. Oh, you're dying. Dying from bean dust. Eyes are all red and itchy. My skin doesn't feel great. It's like fiberglass for all. You want to cuddle? I'll cuddle with you. If you want to pull up over here in the driveway, I'll cuddle with you, make you feel better. I know it's been a while. Some good shops in North Carolina, Virginia. You can modify an F-150. No cuddling on camera. There's everything. Everything's allowed on camera, other than pedo shit. We don't do that. Those guys go in the wood chipper. He's doing all right. I called him up. Actually, no, he called me up. He called me up to yesterday and the day before. He's the one of their shop vans, it's like a E450. They basically smoked the rear end of the thing. It was so bad, whoever was driving it didn't catch it right away, or just kept driving it with whatever was going on with the rear end, that the axle started walking up and down in the axle tube, and it screwed up the bearing, and it mushroomed out the housing where the actual axle nut holds the assembly and everything together. So he was like the whole rear end screwed, the entire rear end, like it's all deformed on the end. The axles are screwed up, bearings are screwed up in the carrier assembly, and I forget the exact nomenclature for it, but it's a I think they called those in it was like 2001 to 2011 or something like that. Didn't they call it the M70 or the M273 HD? It was a heavy duty rear end that only came in the E450, like the heavy duty vans. And I think it was either called an M70 or an M273 HD or something like that. But they were the same differential assembly or housing assembly. Everything was the same. Even though they had two different numbers, they were identical units. I think it's the Dana 70. So yeah, it would be an M70 or the M273, but I think the M273 was still the Dana 70. It's like a 455 or a 456 gear set or something like that. But he said looking at used assemblies, like good used assemblies, they want like over $3,000 for them, an entire assembly. I could have swore you could go to a salvage yard and get one, or order a used one off eBay for like $1,200-1,300, but I don't know. What what do we what do we want to see on here? Do you guys like these live streams that I've been doing? Like, some of you get to visit and stuff like that. A lot of people, I know some people like them, some people don't. I just like to get on here and talk to you guys and just talk about stuff. I'd like to get on here and have people debate me on certain topics, but some people just won't do it. I'm glad that most of the big automotive influencers are all on board with, I mean, everybody, like almost all the automotive influencers, from like Scotty Kilmer to, like Rain Man Ray and the Car Care Nut and Flying Wrenches and Power Stroke Tech Talk with A-Rod, and just everybody that is in the automotive community that's a bigger automotive influencer. And the smaller guys too, they're all on board with each other. If you notice that Toyota and Honda are no longer telling people to go 10,000 miles, well, I can't say all of them, but the majority of Honda and Toyota dealerships are not putting 10,000 mile stickers in the windows anymore, because now the viscosity's got so thin, and that these vehicles are starting to pop up with a little bit more problems here and there. They're telling people to start changing their oil by 5,000 miles. I was in a Honda and Toyota dealer recently, multiple times over the last couple months, and I noticed especially the Honda dealers are like, nah, we don't recommend the 10,000 mile stuff anymore. Even on brand new vehicles, we tell people to bring them back in by 5,000 miles. Toyota, the same thing. because they've all went to shit for the most part. With my garage, I got my own squat rack and power rack and stuff in my garage. I don't have to go to the gym anymore. Just do it at home. Call me and we can debate. You're gonna jump on here and we can debate. Recently totaled my Transit 350 XL. Dual rear wheels. Someone's gonna get a steal in that engine and trans. Damn, sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that. No, Volkswagen dealership. But I still work on Fords though. I got a lot of Ford people that still bring me their vehicles. A lot of fleet customers. And I still do Ford work at home. I'm starting to do a lot more side work with programming and front axle disconnect actuators on the Explorers. Different things that the dealership is charging customers an outrageous amount of money. You know, like the front axle disconnect actuator, minimum it's like $2,000 at the dealerships to update it, but I do it for right at about $1,000 with parts, like labor, programming, everything. But the dealer wants $2,000 or more. The last one that I did, the dealer wanted like $2,200. I did it for $1,000. No, I did it for $800. And the one after that one, the dealer wanted like almost $3,000 for. I did that one for $800 also, but then I realized I'm kind of cutting myself. I'm shortchanging myself, and then plus I'm eating the cost of the $150 license for a couple days. So I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to charge $1,000 from now on. People are still getting a steal using me, and I got all the factory software, so I'm not going to keep undercutting myself to make everybody else happy. Travel vans? Yeah, of course. I can't jump on live streams. I don't see that option. Actually, you can. There's a way that you can invite somebody before you even start. But you'll debate right here in the comment section. You'll say something, and then I'll respond. Just harder for you. Because I'm the one with the camera and can say something right away, and you got to text it out. Sorry. But yeah, you can get on here. There's a way you can invite somebody, but it changes the way the screen's laid out, and it's really goofy. Or you can download a program called StreamYard, and you can do it that way. Yeah, I work on a lot of transit vans. Very familiar with them. Very. Okay. See if I can do some arms real quick. Just something light. Nothing too crazy. How many of you on here right now are retired and they're watching me? Any soon-to-be new dad tips? Sleep when you can. Understand that towards the end, women really don't like to be screwed with too much. Yeah, they might get like horny and want to be sexual and stuff, but a lot of times they just don't want to be touched the last couple weeks. Sometimes it takes 6 to 8 weeks before you even get back into bed with them because they're dealing with a lot of postpartum stuff, a lot of discomfort, healing, and a lot of stuff going on inside that just don't push. It'll be there. You'll get that ass again just the same way you did when you made that baby. But just be patient. Having the understanding that especially towards the end of the birth, a lot of these women, they're going through so many hormonal changes, and there's such a huge issue, or not an issue, but a development going on inside their body while they're building this baby. All their energy and stuff is going to go to that, so it leaves them very exhausted. They try to do as much as they can, but you just got to be patient. A lot of stuff's not going to get done that was getting done before. And I would say be very careful when you have the baby in your arms and you're trying to sleep and stuff like that. If you're sitting in a couch, make it a rule. If you're on a couch or you're in a recliner or something like that, unless the baby's like wrapped up in something and you know the baby can't go anywhere, that's not allowed. You're not allowed to fall asleep. About the second month in, I was laying there. Mind you, I got ham hocks for arms. I'm strong. I can hold the baby in my arms for hours. Having this baby has made my arms twice as strong as they were before. And I just pick her up and I walk around with one arm and I have her everywhere. And people are like, how in the hell are you able to do that for so many hours? It's muscle memory now. And my body's okay with it. No matter how strong you are or how safe you think you are, like me, like I really I'm latched onto her. I don't let her out of my sight, kind of thing. Like she's tucked in tight with me. Babies have a way of all of a sudden muscling up this crazy energy out of nowhere, and they'll stiffen up and they'll try to roll out and stuff, and they'll get mad and angry or upset. They'll roll right out of your arms, right onto the floor. And it happened to me. She went right over the side of the sofa recliner that I was, and luckily she plopped with her belly in her hands and not her head. She did just get a little spot, but she was fine. She recovered quick. So just be careful, Make it a rule that if the baby's in your arms, you're in a safe, secure location where there's no possible way that she can fall out of your arms. or he could fall out of your arms. Um, just, I made that mistake one time, and I will never make that mistake again. And if I do fall asleep with the baby on me, and I'm downstairs on the couch or something like that, I'll try to make sure that I have like a cover around me and the baby and up underneath my butt, and then under my butt on the other side, so almost as if it's like me and the baby are swaddled together, so the baby can't just roll off and go one way or the other. My weight's on the blanket, and the blanket is pulling the baby into my body. Or wear one of those harnesses, or those wraparound stretchy things that the ladies like to wear when they're carrying the babies around, they're cleaning and going shopping and stuff like that. Wear one of them. They fit men too. Um, if you're only putting 3,000 miles on your car a year, I would just change the oil once a year. If you're not even getting close to 5,000 miles or 3,000 miles at the end of the year, I just change the oil once a year. That's it. Yeah, Jay's right. Mr. Independent, he just went through this as well not too long ago. Well, a little while ago, but still, he's got a baby now that he's been watching grow up like crazy. And uh, no matter how much you like that kitty cat, you better leave it alone for a couple months, because no go, bro. All those things that they say in the movie about, oh, they're gonna jump on it and they're gonna break it off once they're pregnant. Nah, no, I don't care how good you are or how horny she thinks she is. That ain't happening. It's not happening. Personally, I do what Ryan says. I tell people if they want to go a year, they can, but I don't like leaving the oil in my vehicle more than 6 months. I tell people, like, if you want to do it like me, it's 6,000 or 6 months or 5,000 miles, or 1 year, 5,000 miles, 3,000 miles, whatever, but 1 year max. I With guns like 1911, you can still go buy something basic in stock. I never understood the auto industry. A truck that proved itself can't be made, remade and sold. It seems immoral. Well, yeah, but there was a dude that was talking about what the hell is his name? He was talking about coming out with a vintage style vehicle with very basic parts like the small block 350 but fuel injected, like a 4-speed transmission, just very basic, just a pickup truck with some nice colors and stuff like that, but very basic. AM/FM radio inside, crank windows, um, posi rear end, just basic shifter, 4-wheel drive, pull it into four, shove it out of four kind of thing. I forget what the guy's name was called, but he bought a Ford Lincoln factory, uh, an abandoned one. He bought it, and then he started turning it into his own automotive shop. He rents out school buses and stuff like that, or he does trips with school buses. I think he started with one or two school buses taking trips around the city in Detroit or something like that, and then he ended up expanding, and then he ended up like 10 buses and then 20 or whatever it was, and he was making really good money. And he's a social media influencer as well. And then he wanted to start his own car company. I forget what the hell it's called now. It's but he wanted to sell trucks that were brand new with like DIY, like you can work on it as a DIY person and still have your warranty. We're going to make it easy enough to where you can fix your own vehicle if you want, or you can bring it in for your warranty. It's up to you. And it was just going to be a completely different concept, an old style with a new spin, and it never took off. He started talking about it 4 or 5 years ago and just never took off. It's not going to turn to sludge, but a lot of these people are crazy, man. Like lately, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about how oil doesn't absorb moisture. That's literally one of the main functions that oil does is absorb moisture that's not supposed to be in the system, and then it keeps it kind of suspended. So whenever you go to drain the oil, it pulls all that contaminants and stuff out with it. It's literally how it's engineered. And then people are like, "Oh, does it absorb moisture?" What? And then I don't know if you've seen recently, if any of you are on TikTok, there's a battle of the battle of the brake flushes. People are like, some mechanics are for brake flushes, you know, by interval, by so many years. Other mechanics aren't. It was like a war going on that I just completely stayed out of, and I'm gonna wait till it completely subsides over the next like couple days or a week, and nobody's talking about it anymore, and then I'm gonna bam lay it right back on them and be like, "Oh, you thought I wasn't gonna get in this? Time to spin it back up, suckers." Trying to stand where I could do some kind of half tricep extension kind of deal. I don't want to hit the garage roof. Normally I like to have my arms up here, but I'll hit the roof. Just trying to get a little burn going. What was that guy? This is gonna bother me now, man. What was that guy called? And what about the dude from Canada that's building the electric semis and stuff like the logging trucks? '93 SVT Lightning. Yeah, those were nice. All right, Jay. Take care, man. You know what? I kind of want. I kind of want to put the heater on. Nah, I'm good. I'll wait. I'm not gonna waste it. Yeah, Edison Motors. That's the guy. But who's the other guy though? Mutiny, or something like that. Can somebody Google that? Try to Google it if you got your phone or something next to you, or another phone or laptop. It's called, like, I think it was called Mutiny. It's like if you look up Mutiny Car Company. This is how I could do the behind the back stuff. Right here. Mutiny Motors, yeah. Maybe it's Mutiny Motors. You can read up on the guy. Like you'll run across one of his stories where he rents out buses, or he went from buses to doing tours to something else. He bought a Ford Lincoln factory, and Found some old Fords and Lincolns actually still in there. Some of the the machines that built everything, put everything together. Some of the engine equipment, the engines, the cars. There's like a bunch of stuff still there. I don't know. It's one of those, Ryan. It's something like that. Goat Mutiny. Mutiny Motors. I thought it was Mutiny Motors. I think there's even a YouTube video on it. It's probably like Instagram or Facebook thing on it too. The guy's pretty interesting. He's actually pretty entertaining. See you, Jay. Whoa, J.S. Been a while, brother. It's been a long while. Oh, friends with Heavy D. Heard of a cross kart, basically a go-kart with a roll cage, street biking. Just working on my health, man. I'm down over 60 pounds, and I haven't really been checking the last couple days, but I'm just super healthy, starting to get super healthy now, and no junk foods, no nothing, just straight healthy foods, working out, focusing on my family, and just trying to live a better life. Oh, I'm trying. Slate Auto is another one. Mutiny talked. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Mutiny was, I seen the guy talking, and he was like looking for investors and talking about how good they were doing, and I got excited for him, man. I got real excited for him, and then nothing was happening, which I was confused. Why is nothing happening? Undercoating and surface shield. I mean, surface shield. If you want something that's going to go on, protect, and it's going to be a drier product, and it's not going to stay wet as long, then surface shield would be the way to go. But if you're looking for a wet product that's really going to stay there for a long time, but you're going to end up to get it to dry out a little bit. So if you're ever under there, it just doesn't automatically stick to you. You're going to have to run it up and down some dusty roads and stuff, or just driving it on the highway in general, like I did mine a year and a half ago, and you could still see the oil and stuff. But I've been doing it like every year and a half. So I've got a nice built-up coating underneath there, and then the road dust and stuff like that basically lightly cakes or lightly makes contact with the oil, and it kind of dries it out, gives it that finished oily / dry look for you, and I never see rust again. But all depends on what you want. Surface shield dries a lot faster and sets up faster, but I also find that with the surface shield, you gotta reapply it several times before you get the same effect as the what's the other crap that I said? Now I'm drawing a blank. What's the other stuff I use, Ryan? That shoot, I'm drawing a blank now. So you just got an advertisement from Toyota for a rubberized undercoating. I've never heard of it before. Fluid film, yeah. Well, I've had fluid film on my truck for like I said, for a couple years now, and it's still there. Even through all the car washes and stuff, it's still there. I can climb under the truck right now. It's still, but it took recoating it over and over and over and over again. So I guess it just all depends on what you're looking for, and maybe try the surface shield and maybe it'll stick better. Wool wax, it's going to be all the same stuff, basically. Wool wax is good too. I didn't even wash mine when I applied it the first time. I put it right on whatever was there. I'm not going to go scrubbing underneath the vehicle and doing all that crazy stuff. Heck no. Yeah, I did fluid film. First I did surface shield and it was good. It just took a lot to get the same results that I was doing with one basic coat of fluid film. So I was like, I'm going to use fluid film from now on. I'm about ready to go in the house. So, fluid film, like I said, I would probably say for a year or two before you have to like do a light coat, just real quick. You don't even need to get a spray gun. Just climb underneath there yourself with a couple spray cans of just fluid film, and you can just recoat it yourself, and it's good for another entire year or two. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about real quick before I go in, because I told my wife I was going to stay out here for a little bit because I've been wanting to get in the garage today, and I couldn't get in here because we had a bunch of projects going on in the house. So she knows I was going to be out here for a while. So if there's something you guys want to talk about, then let's talk about it. If not, and we're ready to go to bed, let's go to bed. Oh, you know what? I got to clean this table off right here. I wanted to clean this table off before I went in the house. Sorry. Got to do that. I'm gonna clean the table off real quick. I want to get tools and stuff put away that I left out the other day, and I never put them away. It's bothering me. AMSOIL makes a spray under coating. It's like liquid and turns into a wax when it dries. Yeah, it's this right here. This is the MPHD, but they also have a different one. I think it's just the basic one. This is I think the heavier duty one. Rusty hammer. I'll wipe it off. You can see the color of it. It kind of turns this waxy brown after it sets up. So it's nice and liquidy right there. Now we'll let it sit for a little bit and come back and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's already starting to turn into that waxy color that you were talking about. Even the drip that was dripping off of the edge has already started to solidify and it's not dripping anymore. I'm over here to the side. I'm putting tools away right now. Any of you guys have teenage girls or maybe teenage boys? I tell you what. Shoo! What a headache. What a freaking headache. Man, the mouth and the sassiness, the attitude out of nowhere. People say, oh, you taught your kids wrong. You taught your kids wrong. Shoot. This girl ain't never taught a day in her life to be disrespectful. Man, the attitude. I feel like... But I gotta remember, she's a dainty little girl. It's what I was taught growing up until I got old enough to realize I was lied to my entire life. Girls are so pretty, girls are so smart, girls are so clean, girls are so perfect. All those things. And then you get old enough to start going with one and you're like, man, what the hell happened to you? This is not what I was told. This ain't even close to what I was told. I'm running away. I think I'm in the boys now. Nope, I'll pass. I think if I had a son, I'd tell him, hey man, look, it's 2035. Gay is normal. Just be gay. It'll save you a lot of problems. No, I wouldn't say that, but you guys get what I'm saying. Well, there goes the hammer falling. That wasn't very smart, now was it? I wish I would have had the camera up for that one. Probably could have used it in a video or something. Anyhow. The knee's better, but it still aches. It's swollen and it's popping sometimes. It's gonna be some time before I can actually 100% comfortably say that I'm safe not getting hurt doing stuff, because I still feel it. I could turn the wrong way and barely be holding anything and it hurts. But luckily I'm losing the weight that I've lost, because if I wasn't, it'd probably hurt 10 times worse. Oh, okay. I'm not supposed to be touching. Ryan, I almost picked up the thing, and I gotta put that thing away or hide it, or you gotta come get it and get it away from me, or else I'm gonna put it on camera, and I'm not supposed to do that. I should probably just lock it away somewhere so I forget about it right now. Oh, you know what? I wanted to try it real quick. Actually, I'm going to try it real quick. No, I won't. I'll try it, I'll record it, and then I'll send it to you, Ryan. I'll show you how it works. And then with the setup that I have, I finally got it finished and everything's dry. And how I use the tool. How I use the tool, and then I'll show you. I can't Excel. It's a tool that I thought up a while ago that it could help a lot of people. And then I told Ryan about it because he's like my best friend. So Um, he is my best friend. My best friend's kind of fucking being an asshole. And I told Ryan, I was like, how come you weren't my best friend? You're my best friend. No, he's he's my best friend. Anyway, I told Ryan about it, and um, he came up with some ideas with me, and then came over and we built it. And then I thought about it a little bit more, and I wanted to make it even better. Now that I have the proof of concept and like the prototype and everything, I wanted to refine it a little bit, and then I refined it a little bit more, and I made it even better than what it was. Now it should be really good. So I can't just tell it, you know. Well, the thing is, talking to a friend of mine, he's got a couple tools out on the market. He was saying you don't want to just get a regular patent. You actually want to get a utility patent. A utility patent will stop anybody from being able to make anything close to yours. Nothing like yours can even be made. They can't like steal part of your idea and just like revamp it a little bit and make it something completely. If it looks anything like yours or operates anything like yours for 20 years, you're protected. But that's the difference in going and getting a couple $1,000 patent versus a $20,000 to $30,000 patent. So they make sure for the next 20 years after it's official that nobody can build anything like yours. Yeah, I thought about just going ahead and start building it myself and then pitching it to you guys and then seeing if you guys like it. If you guys like it, then I can try to work on becoming more efficient with different kits and stuff that I can put together that are available. But I want to get down. I want to get down the final product on what I want it to look like, and then I'm trying to have a CAD printer or a 3D printer. See, I have a 3D printer back here right now, but I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to build the file and stuff that I need for it, and I'm still trying to get used to what I need to do to get the, like the program set up, how to build the data for it, dimensions and stuff. So what I was going to have somebody do is somebody that builds CAD filing or 3D printing, pay them to show me how to set up the computer software and stuff like that, have them build a file for me, and then me take the file and input it into the computer system of the printer and just print it and try to play around with it and make it better and better and better. Right. That's also the issue as well. If utility patents actually can't be stolen, from a legal standpoint, that's why it takes 2 to 3 years to even get things approved with a utility patent, is because they have to do a lot of digging. They have to jump through a lot of hoops. They have to do a lot of investigating to make sure there's not already a product like it on the market. And I guess the reason why you do a utility patent is to stop those other things from happening, from what I understand. Now, I'm not a legal professional. I have the laptop here with, I think, 2 programs on it, and there was a guy here locally that he builds stuff like this. He's from the neighborhood here. He builds like big Disney models and stuff like that, or he'll build like complete skulls, and he builds all the programming, like the filing for it and stuff. And he was like, if you ever need help learning how to use that machine, why don't you give me a call? But I work nights, so he says it's a little harder for me to get out to you because I work nights and I sleep during the day. So this weekend he was supposed to come out and he was going to show me how to build some filing for it and stuff, but I'm glad he didn't because I didn't have time to do it this weekend. I wasn't going to tell him about the product that I built. I was going to just have him show me how to use the software and stuff. But I guess they say that's what YouTube is for anyway, right? You guys will see what it is. It'll be pretty interesting. And I thought of something else that that nobody else says there's no product out for. But you guys know, you know how the Super Duties and the F-150s were getting water on top of the fuse boxes? And some of the Super Duties, the guys were having to replace the entire engine bay wiring harness and stuff like that. And there was like a service bulletin out on it. The guys were showing up at the dealership like, why are my lights flickering? Why won't my truck start randomly? Why won't this, that? They started inspecting and they see water's getting over the seal around the hood and it's dripping down onto the fuse box. Well, I was like, I wonder if I took the factory DT, what's up, brother? I wonder if I took the factory, like the factory bolt that's up on the firewall, took that nut off of there, and then took like a nut off of over by the fender. I can build a cardboard model that will be like a little shelf tray that I can bolt right up to that on both sides, put those factory nuts back on, and the factory mounting locations for those two nuts can actually help hold this tray on, and I'll have a diverter trough funnel, so as the water flows over that seal, if it does get over there, it's as a secondary, like a safety, it'll hit that trough and it'll funnel its way away to the other side of the battery, and the water will never make its way onto the fuse box. It'll actually be an extra protective layer, and it would probably, I could probably build that thing for probably $3 or $4 and then turn around and sell it for $25 a cover, and it take 5 minutes to install it. Yeah, just a drain diverter, just to carry it away from that area to keep it off of the fuse box. And on yours, I actually thought about building a secondary tray that goes above where your air filter's at on your Transit. It bolts in above where the air filter's at, and any water that gets down in that area is also diverted away, and it doesn't soak that air filter housing, because there's been so many of those Transits that came into the dealership where they're like running sluggish and misfiring. Water's gotten down on top of the coils and stuff because the factory locations that they try to reseal doesn't actually work. And then I'll pull the air filter out and the air filter is completely soaked, just covered in water. That's why it was sluggish. It couldn't breathe. It's causing it to misfire and everything else. I mean, nobody has come out with an aftermarket part for those two situations to fix that. But I have ideas. So now it's just a matter of finances and coming up with it. Okay, the table's cleaned off. I need to go inside. I need to drink some more water, go inside, lay down, and then do this again in the morning. I'll be up around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, have my coffee, and then I'll come out here if you guys want to jump back on, and I'll be out here and I'll work out a little bit more in the morning. I think I'm going to hit back a little harder in the morning and maybe some chest work. So if you guys want to jump on in the morning, sometime around 6:30, I'll be out here. Then around 7:30, I'll leave, take the little one to school. Oh, let's see what that MP looks like. Here. It dries like this. You see this nice waxy finish now? It's not really wet anymore. It's got like a wax feel to it. So it's not liquidy anymore. It's thick like pasty wax. And it'll just keep solidifying. And it'll solidify like a wax layer. You don't need a lot of it. Just this little bit right here protects forever. But if you spray it a lot, you get anyway, it leaves a waxy film behind. The other ones don't set up that fast. The actual AMSOIL one sets up the fastest out of all of them. So, again, this is what it's called right here. It's good stuff. It's really good. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'm out. I'll see you in the morning. Take care. Be blessed. All that good stuff. Love y'all.